game called The Longing. I haven't played it in a while, but I enjoy it in that it's a game that I've never seen a game like it before. Let me switch my screen over. So The Longing is kind of like an anti-video game. And I mean that in the best way. Like if you want to see what it actually looks like, let me switch over. So, okay. Go over to my Twitch. But basically, you're a little character, and in the game, you just kind of walk around because you're waiting for your, like, king to wake up. Oh, where'd it go? But you just kind of have to pass the time in the meantime. I can't remember how to keep full screen in this because I haven't played it in a while. The whole shtick with the game is that it continues playing. Oh, unless I restarted it. I moved the game recently, and I think it might have actually just like completely restarted it. Oh no. What is even happening right now? Okay, stay there. See, it keeps toggling back to small. Okay, what's up? Hello everyone coming in. So I started a Twitch a few days ago. And oh no, okay, good. It did keep my game. So for those of you that don't know, there's this game called The Longing, and the game is just you're this little creature. Let me flip the screen around so you can see actually. So this is the game. You're this little creature, and your task is to kind of just, from what I remember, like guard the area that your king is in. So let me go back. I forget how you go back to the actual beginning. Maybe it's here. Or no, wait. But anyway, you just kind of like walk around this area, and the purpose of the game is to just like be really slow. Like I said, it kind of, you can look, like there's this button that you can click and it just says walk to a random place. So, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna walk to a random place. So what's everyone up to today? I started a Twitch, so go over there if you'd like to see me at the same time playing this little game while we're just kind of watching. One of my favorite parts about this game, other than all of it, is just that I think it is free if I remember correctly. That was another good thing about it. Like, so the it's a I don't even know how to describe this game, to be honest. So, like I said, you're this little character, you have a little cave that you live in, and you collect pages of books. And you go back to your little cave and you can paint, and you like paint little things on your wall, and you can like read the books. So I think what I was actually planning to do, because I feel like this is just a very like chill game in general, is I was gonna have folks pick like what sort of book, and I might do that because that's what I'm making my Twitch, is just kind of like a combination of all the things I enjoy. So I read on TikTok Live a little bit, and I have started doing that on Twitch. And then I play random games, usually like puzzle games and shit. This game is called The Longing. So, and if you'll notice, like, it's on auto move right now. Yeah, I'm non-binary. Non-binary neuroqueer. So that means that my concept of an experience of gender is influenced by the fact that I'm an autist. But yeah, the character walks really, really slow. There's things every once in a while that they'll come across, like moss or like other random stuff. Like, okay, you'll notice, you can't really see it right now on TikTok. Okay, so no transphobia in the chat. There's a difference between being a female and being any sort of gender. So before you go around saying things that are factually inaccurate, you should know that that's not accepted here. So, have a good day. This game is called The Longing. So I clicked a button that just says walk to a random place. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I think. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm gonna walk to the king. Like I said, you're kind of like a minion to this king. We're going to the king. It'll take a little while, but they'll get here. Yeah, thank you. That's a good point. I really should. Well, the thing is, though, is it's important for me to not just completely ignore the ignorance, because if you do that, you're playing into it entirely. So I will ignore the ignorance after I at least tell the ignorance that it's not accepted here. But yeah, it's just like a cute little game, you know? You know what? I don't remember if you might be able to. The thing about this game that and another one that I haven't really seen before, is that it continues playing just in the background of your computer. So like, my counter looks like it started over somehow, and I wonder what that's about, because I have had this playing for like, I mean, it has to be like almost a year at this point, to be honest. But like I said, we're walking back to the king. And oh yeah, okay, so like we're gonna actually stop it. So it says that I can use like a tool. Oh, never mind. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it gave me an opportunity to like break the glass to get the treasure. It says it seems like a bad idea. Should we do it? So I don't think that he runs. That's the thing of the game. It's kind of like an anti-video game, a video game where you just kind of like walk around and read. Like it's almost like the purpose of the game is to make you not want to play video games in a traditional sense, because it's also slow and but no, you're right. That's so true, Flyer Soul. That's a very good point. And I mean, but there's a difference between being like, hey, um, this isn't tolerated here, and then we're doing it. Oh, I broke it. Okay, that was a bad choice. Whatever. I didn't never gather anything anyway, so that's fine. All right, I guess that's what we get. But no, like I said, I think what I've enjoyed about TikTok the most is I'm very strict with my block button. And I think there's a fine line between like accepting treatment that you just not gonna accept, and being like, don't do this. This isn't that space. Like, if you want to act like that, go somewhere else, you know? But yeah, what are y'all up to today? Like I said, if you want to see the full screen of this little game, I started a Twitch like 4 days ago. So it's also over there. I wish I remembered the name of this little creature. Oh wait, it's called a shade. It says right there. I forget what books I already got. Because like I said, when we go back to its little cave, it's got like a bookshelf. Yeah, I mean, realistically, that's something that I for sure like. I think that's just a lifelong struggle, you know? I mean, in my experience, the best way to ever like work through stuff like that is just recognizing the way that we were born into a world that was here long before we got here, you know? And so, no matter what we do, we're gonna be influenced by that world because we're just a being that just it was, like I said, just given us a world. Sorry, I'm gonna turn the sound down a little bit. Oh well, okay. Maybe how do I turn it down? Okay. The point. I like both of these. So the point of what I'm saying is that basically we can't not be influenced by it. You know what I mean? Oh, you beat the game? So I think with knowing that, the most important part of combating internalized ableism is just recognizing that, like, it's not our fault that the world is this way. You know what I mean? And so we just do the best that we can when we can. Like, if someone points it out, how do I... if someone points it out, we gotta make sure that we do better. But we can't beat ourselves up too much about it. And, yeah, just continue to listen and learn when you can, right? I wish that I had, like, the thing about what I've learned versus, like, a typical, I feel like, Psychology Today kind of response to a question like that is that it's never as, like, easy or straightforward or, like, one-stop solution as, like, people are, like, nowadays I think used to hearing. And, like, that's just sort of the lot that we're given, right? But no, Rhett, I love that you did it. So wait, does that mean you went to the surface? Or is there, because there's got to be multiple endings for this, probably, right? I literally have done very little research about it. So this is the king. The king is sleeping. And we're going into the little cave. So I put up many little paintings, and we can play music and read books. I forgot how many books I really have. Okay. What shall we do? We could adjust the flow of the fountain. We could like make music. Oh, you can't see. Let me shift you over here. Look, see? It's making music. Oh, you stayed down. Okay. Yeah, it's so great. That's what's so cool about it. Another symphony for the ages. Nice. I know I haven't played Sims in a while. That's what I've been doing, like I said, ever since you can make the room bigger. Oh, yeah, okay, so I started digging over here. I'm assuming that's probably what you're talking about, right? I forget. So, like, this is the first time I've played this game and, like, actually walked around in it in, like, probably a year. So, I forget that, like, what kind of... It's funny, because that's the thing about the game playing in the background all this time. Like, I truly have no idea what all has changed. All I know is that, like... Oh, okay, so I can make a fire. Like I said, if you want to see the full screen, I got it playing on Twitch. Should we start a fire? Just a little regular. Okay, so we got a regular fire. We have a blue fire, and we have a smelly fire. But really, I can't build these two, so it looks like this is the option we have. Home sweet home. We got an achievement. All right, so let's read. Like I said, I forget what book I have. So we could read a book or we can stop and stare. So these are the book choices. We have Thoughts. We have The Goose Girl. The Spooksaloothstra 1. Moby Dick. Poems 2. Metamorphoses. The Six Swans. Fables 1. The Spooksaloothstra 2. Alright, we're doing Goose Girl. We have many of the classics. That's what I basically did, like, when I played in, like, I don't know how many hours I've actually put into this game. Probably only, like, a couple, but I could be wrong. But I collected, basically, as many books as I possibly could. So, okay, we're gonna read The Goose Girl. I'll put this here. So we'll have it in case you enjoy the having it up at the same time. Oh, I gotta restart it, I guess. Alright, like I said, go over to my Twitch. It's also over there. I got a cool little thing that I made. I'm very proud of it. Alright, let's do this. So, The Goose Girl. There was once upon a time an old queen whose husband had been dead for many years, and she had a beautiful daughter. When the princess grew up, she was betrothed to a prince who lived at a great distance. When the time came for her to be married, and she had to journey forth into the distant kingdom, the aged queen packed up for her many costly vessels of silver and gold, and trinkets also of gold and silver, cups and jewels, in short, everything which appertained to a royal dowry, for she loved her child with all her heart. She likewise sent her maid in waiting who was to ride with her, and hand her over to the bridegroom, and each had a horse for the journey. Oh no, what happened? Oh, I forget that it's... so it'll move... Okay, Livia, here we go. I'm reading too slow according to the game. Okay, where we were. But the horse of the king's daughter was called Falada and could speak. So when the hour of parting had come, the aged mother went into her bedroom, took a small knife, and cut her finger with it, until it bled. Then she held a white handkerchief to it, into which she let 3 drops of blood fall, gave it to her daughter, and said, "Dear child, preserve this carefully. It will be of service to you on your way." So they took a sorrowful leave of each other. The princess put the piece of cloth in her bosom, mounted her horse, and then went away to her bridegroom. After she had ridden for a while, she felt a burning thirst, and said to her waiting maid, "Dismount, and take my cup which thou hast brought with thee for me, and get me some water from the stream, for I should like to drink." This is incredibly different shift from the last the last book we were reading. "If you are thirsty," said the waiting maid, "get off your horse yourself and lie down and drink out of the water. I don't choose to be your servant." Fair enough, we respect that. So in her great thirst, the princess alighted, bent down over the water in the stream, and drank, and was not allowed to drink out of the golden cup. Then she said, "Ah, heaven!" And the 3 drops of blood answered, "If thy mother knew this, her heart would break." But the king's daughter was humble, said nothing, and mounted her horse again. She rode some miles further, but the day was warm. The sun scorched her, and she was thirsty once more. And when they came to a stream of water, she again cried to her waiting maid, "Dismount, and give me some water in my golden cup." For she had long ago forgotten the girl's ill words. But the waiting maid said still more haughtily, "If you wish to drink, drink as you can. I don't choose to be your maid." Then in her great thirst, the king's daughter alighted, bent over the flowing stream, wept, and said, "Ah, heaven!" And the drops of blood again replied, "If thy mother knew this, her heart would break." And as she was thus drinking and leaning right over the stream, the handkerchief with the 3 drops of blood fell out of her bosom and floated away with the water without her observing it. So great was her trouble. The waiting maid, however, had seen it, and she rejoiced to think that she had now power over the bride, for since the princess had lost the drops of blood, she had become weak and powerless. So now when she wanted to mount her horse again, the one that was called Falada, the waiting maid said, "Falada is more suitable for me, and my nag will do for thee." And the princess had to be content with that. Then the waiting maid, with many hard words, bade the princess exchange her royal apparel for her own shabby clothes, and at length she was compelled to swear by the clear sky above her that she would not say one word of this to anyone at the royal court, and if she had not taken this oath she would have been killed on the spot. But Falada saw all this and observed it well. The waiting maid now mounted Falada, and the true bride the bad horse, and thus they traveled onwards until at length they entered the royal palace. There were great rejoicings over her arrival, and the prince sprang forward to meet her, lifted the waiting maid from her horse, and thought she was his consort. She was conducted upstairs, but the real princess was left standing below. Then the old king looked out of the window and saw her standing in the courtyard, and how dainty and delicate and beautiful she was, and instantly went to the royal apartment and asked the bride, it sounds so goofy when I say it, and asked the bride about the girl she had with her, who was standing down below in the courtyard, and who she was. "I picked her up on my way for a companion. Give the girl something to work at, that she may not stand idle." But the old king had no work for her and knew of none, so he said, I have a little boy who tends the geese. She may help him. The boy was called Conrad, and the true bride had to help him to tend the geese. Soon afterwards, the false bride said to the young king, Dearest husband, I beg you to do me a favor. He answered, I will do so most willingly. What is this? Willingly? I feel like that's probably an old English translation. Then send for the knacker, and have the head of the horse on which I rode here cut off, for it vexed me on the way. In reality, she was afraid that the horse might tell how she had behaved to the king's daughter. Then she succeeded in making the king promise that it should be done, and the faithful Falada was to die. This came to the ears of the real princess, and she secretly promised to pay the knacker a piece of gold if he would perform a small service for her. There was a great dark-looking gateway in the town, through which morning and evening she had to pass with the geese. Would he be so good as to nail up Falada's head on it, so that she might see him again more than once? The knacker's man promised to do that, and cut off the head, and nailed it fast beneath the dark gateway. Early in the morning, when she and Conrad drove out their flock beneath this gateway, she said in passing, Alas, Falada, hanging there. Then the head answered, Alas, young queen, how ill you fare! If your tender mother knew, her heart would surely break in two. Then they went still further out of town and drove their geese into the country. And when they had come to the meadow, she sat down and unbound her hair, which was like pure gold. And Conrad saw it and delighted in its brightness, and wanted to pluck out a few hairs. Then she said, Blow, blow, thou gentle wind, I say, blow Conrad's little hat away, and make him chase it here and there until I have braided all my hair, and bound it up again. And there came such a violent wind that it blew Conrad's hat far away across country, and he was forced to run after it. When he came back, she had finished combing her hair and was putting it up again, and he could not get any of it. Then Conrad was angry and would not speak to her, and thus they watched the geese until the evening, and then they went home. Next day, when they were driving the geese out through the dark gateway, the maiden said, Alas, Falada, hanging there. Falada answered, Alas, young queen, how ill you fare! If this your tender mother knew, her heart would surely break in two. And she sat down again in the field and began to comb out her hair, and Conrad ran and tried to clutch it. So she said in haste, Blow, blow, thou gentle wind, I say, blow Conrad's little hat away, and make him chase it here and there, until I have braided all my hair, and bound it up again. Then the wind blew, and blew his little hat off his head, and far away, and Conrad was forced to run after it when he came back. Her hair had been put up a long time, and he could get none of it, and so they looked after their geese till evening came. But in the evening, after they had got home, Conrad went to the old king and said, I won't tend the geese with that girl any longer. Why not? Inquired the aged king. Oh, because she vexes me the whole day long. Then the aged king commanded him to relate what it was that she did to him. And Conrad said, In the morning, when we passed beneath the dark gateway with the flock, there is a sorry horse's head on the wall, and she says to it, Alas, Falada, hanging there. And the head replies, Alas, young queen, how ill you fare! If this your tender mother knew, her heart would surely break in two. And just some local gossip. Where was it? Oh, yes. And Conrad went on to relate what happened on the goose pasture, and how when there he had to chase his hat. The aged king commanded him to drive his flock out again next day, and as soon as morning came, he placed himself behind the dark gateway, and heard how the maiden spoke to the head of Falada, and then he too went into the country, and hid himself in the thicket in the meadow. There he soon saw with his own eyes the goose girl and the goose boy, bringing their flock, and how after a while she sat down and unplaited her hair, which shone with radiance. And soon he said, Blow, blow, thou gentle wind, I say, blow Conrad's little late away, and make him chase it here and there, until I have braided all my hair and bound it up again. Then came a blast of wind and carried off Conrad's hat, so that he had to run far away, while the maiden quietly went on combing and plaiting her hair, all of which the king observed. Then, quite unseen, he went away, and when the goose girl came home in the evening, he called her aside and asked why she did all these things. I may not tell you that, and I dare not lament my sorrows to any human being, for I have sworn not to do so by the heaven which is above me. If I had not done that, I should have lost my life. He urged her and left her no peace, but he could draw nothing from her. Then said he, If thou wilt not tell me anything, tell thy sorrows to the iron stove there. And he went away. Then she crept into the iron stove and began to weep and lament, and emptied her whole heart, and said, Here am I, deserted by the whole world. And yet I am a king's daughter, and a false waiting maid has by force brought me to such a pass that I have been compelled to put off my royal apparel, and she has taken my place with my bridegroom, and I have to perform menial service as a goose girl. If my mother did not but know that, her heart would break. The aged king, however, was standing outside by the pipe of the stove, and was listening to what she said, and heard it. Then he came back again, and bade her come out of the stove. And royal garments were placed on her, and it was marvelous how beautiful she was. The aged king summoned his son, and revealed to him that he had got the false bride, who was only a waiting maid, but the true one was standing there as the sometime goose girl. The young king rejoiced with all his heart when he saw her beauty and youth, and a great feast was made ready, to which all the people and all good friends were invited. At the head of the table sat the bridegroom with the king's daughter at one side of him, and the waiting maid on the other, but the waiting maid was blinded and did not recognize the princess in her dazzling array. When they had eaten and drunk and were merry, the aged king asked the waiting maid as a riddle what a person deserved who had behaved in such and such a way to her master, and at the same time related the whole story and asked what sentence such a one merited. That sentence didn't make any sense to me. I don't know about y'all. Then the false bride said, She deserves no better fate than to be stripped entirely naked and put in a barrel which is studded inside with pointed nails, and 2 white horses should be harnessed to it. Damn, this is fucking brutal. Ye old suffering, which will drag her along through one street after another till she is dead. It is thou, said the aged king, and thou hast pronounced thine own sentence, and thou shall it be done unto thee. And when the sentence had been carried out, the young king married his true bride, and both of them reigned over their kingdom in peace and happiness. Brutal. That was the story. I don't think I ever heard that, actually. I don't remember, though. I might have been told some version of that as a child. Alright, which one next? Most of them, okay, so like I literally, the first time I played this, read all of the very first Thus Spoke Zalustra. I won't put us through that. Yeah, I know, they are really, I like them a lot. Okay, so we already went through these. So we got Amontillado. I feel like I wouldn't pronounce all of the words in that incorrectly. A lot of these are actually probably just like gonna be a bunch of Old English and difficult stuff. We could read The Raven, a classic. I have very Crow vibes, so I'm inclined to do that. What else do we have here? Fables 2, Three Tales, The Golden Bird. We gotta read bird stuff. The Golden Bird. Alright. Like I said, you want to see the whole thing? Check out Twitch. I gotta perpetually push the Twitch. I'm really proud of what I created. Alright, let's do this. The Golden Bird. In times gone by, there was a king who had at the back of his castle a beautiful pleasure garden, in which stood a tree that bore golden apples. As the apples ripened, they were counted, but one morning one was missing. Then the king was angry, and he ordered that watch should be kept about the tree every night. Now the king had 3 sons, and he sent the eldest to spend the whole night in the garden, so he watched till midnight, and then he could keep off sleep no longer, and in the morning another apple was missing. The second son had to watch the following night, but it fared no better, for when 12 o'clock had struck, he went to sleep, and in the morning another apple was missing. Now came the turn of the third son to watch, and he was ready to do so. But the king had less trust in him, and believed he would acquit himself still worse than his brothers, but in the end he consented to let him try. So the young man lay down under the tree to watch, and resolved that sleep should not be master. When it struck 12, I'm going to move you so you can see the little fire. There we go. When it struck 12, something came rushing through the air, and he saw in the moonlight a bird flying towards him, whose feathers glittered like gold. The bird perched upon the tree and had already pecked off an apple when the young man let fly an arrow at it. The bird flew away, but the arrow had strung its plumage, and one of its golden feathers fell to the ground. The young man picked it up, and taking it next morning to the king, told him what had happened in the night. The king called his council together, and all declared that such a feather was worth more than the whole kingdom. Since the feather is so valuable, said the king, one is not enough for me. I must and will have the whole bird. So capitalism. So the eldest son set off, and relying on his own cleverness, he thought he should soon find the golden bird. When he had gone some distance, he saw a fox sitting at the edge of a wood, and he pointed his gun at him. The fox cried out, "Do not shoot me, and I will give you good counsel. You are on your way to find the golden bird, and this evening you will come to a village in which two taverns stand facing each other. One will be brightly lighted up, and there will be plenty of merriment going on inside. Do not mind about that, but go into the other one, although it will look to you very uninviting. You always go to the hole-in-wall bars, that's what I've learned." How can a silly beast give one any rational advice, thought the king's son, and let fly at the fox, but missed him, and he stretched out his tail and ran quick into the wood. Then the young man went on his way, and towards evening he came to the village, and there stood the two taverns. In one singing and dancing was going on, and the other looked quite dull and wretched. "I should be a fool," said he, "to go into that dismal place, while there is anything so good close by." So he went into the merry inn, and there lived in clover, quite forgetting the bird and his father and all good counsel. As time went on and the eldest son never came home, the second son set out to seek the golden bird. He met with the fox just as the eldest did, and received good advice from him without attending to it. And when he came to the two taverns, his brother was standing and calling to him at the window of one of them, out of which came sounds of merriment, so he could not resist, but went in and revelled to his heart's content. And then as time went on, the youngest son wished to go forth and to try his luck, but his father would not consent. "It would be useless," said he. "He is much less likely to find the bird than his brothers, and if any misfortune were to happen to him, he would not know how to help himself. His wits are none of the best." But at last, as there was no peace to be had, he let him go. By the side of the wood sat the fox, begged him to spare his life, and gave him good counsel. The young man was kind, and said, "Be easy, little fox, I will do you no harm." "You shall not repent of it," answered the fox, "and that you may get there all the sooner, get up and sit on my tail." And no sooner had he done that than the fox began to run, and off they went over stock and stone, so that the wind whistled in their hair. When they reached the village, a young man got down, and following the fox's advice, went into the mean-looking tavern without hesitating, and there he passed a quiet night. The next morning, when he went out into the field, the fox who was sitting there already said, "I will tell you further what you have to do. Go straight on until you come to a castle before which a great band of soldiers lie, but do not trouble yourself about them, for they will be all asleep and snoring. Pass through them and forward into the castle, and go through all the rooms, until you come to one where there is a golden bird hanging in a wooden cage. Near at hand will stand empty a golden cage of state, but you must beware of taking the bird out of his ugly cage and putting him into the fine one. If you do so, you will come to harm." After he had finished saying this, the fox stretched out his tail again, and the king's son sat him down upon it. That sentence just like fucked with my head. Then away they went over stock and stone, so that the wind whistled through their hair. And when the king's son reached the castle, he found everything as the fox had said, and he at last entered the room where the golden bird was hanging in a wooden cage, while a golden one was standing by. The 3 golden apples, too, were in the room. Then, thinking it foolish to let the beautiful bird stay in that mean and ugly cage, he opened the door of it, took hold of it, and put it in the golden one. In the same moment, the bird uttered a piercing cry. The soldiers awakened, rushed in, seized the king's son, and put him in prison. The next morning he was brought before a judge, and as he confessed everything, condemned to death. But the king said he would spare his life on one condition, that he should bring him the golden horse, whose paces were swifter than the wind, and that he should also receive the golden bird as a reward. So the king's son set off to find the golden horse, but he sighed and was very sad, for how should it be accomplished? And then he saw his old friend the fox sitting by the roadside. "Now you see," said the fox, "all this has happened because you would not listen to me. But be of good courage. I will bring you through and will tell you how you are to get the golden horse. You must go straight on until you come to a castle, where the horse stands in his stable. Before the stable door, the grooms will be lying, and they will all be asleep and snoring, and you can go and quietly lead out the horse. But one thing you must mind, take care to put upon him the plain saddle of wood and leather, and not the golden one, which will hang close by, otherwise it will go badly with you." Then the fox stretched out his tail, and the king's son seated himself upon it, and away they went over stock and stone, until the wind whistled through their hair. And everything happened just as the fox had said, and he came to the stall where the golden horse was, and as he was about to put on him the plain saddle, he thought to himself, "Such a beautiful animal would be disgraced were I not to put on him the good saddle, which becomes him so well." However, no sooner did the horse feel the golden saddle touch him than he began to neigh, and the grooms all awoke, seized the king's son, and threw him into prison. The next morning he was delivered up to justice and condemned to death. But the king promised him his life, and also to bestow upon him the golden horse, if he could convey thither the beautiful princess of the golden castle. With a heavy heart the king's son set out, but by great good luck he soon met with the faithful fox. "I ought now to leave you to your own ill luck," said the fox, "but I am sorry for you, and will once more help you in your need. Your way lies straight up to the golden castle, and you will arrive there in the evening, and at night, when all is quiet, the beautiful princess goes to the bath, and as she is entering the bathing house, go up to her and give her a kiss, and then she will follow you, and you can lead her away, but do not suffer her first to go and take leave of her parents, or it will go ill with you." Then the fox stretched out his tail, the king's son seated himself upon it, and away they went over stock and stone, so that the wind whistled through their hair. And when he came to the golden castle, all was as the fox had said. He waited until midnight, when all lay in deep sleep, and then as the beautiful princess went to the bathing house, he went up to her and gave her a kiss, and she willingly promised to go with him. But she begged him earnestly, and with tears, that he would let her first go and take leave with her parents. At first he denied her prayer, but as she wept so much more and fell at his feet, he gave in at last. I'm not a fan of the fact that this is treating an entire adult woman as object, but okay, we're gonna continue reading, I guess. And no sooner had the princess reached her father's bedside than he and all who were in the castle waked up, and the young man was seized and thrown into prison. Good, kind of. The next morning the king said to him, "Thy life is forfeit, but thou shalt find grace if thou canst level that mountain that lies before my windows, and over which I am not able to see. And if this is done within 8 days, thou shalt have my daughter for a reward." So the king's son set to work and dug and shoveled away without ceasing. But when on the 7th day he saw how little he had accomplished, and that all his work was as nothing, he fell into great sadness and gave up all hope. But on the evening of the 7th day the fox appeared and said, "You do not deserve that I should help you, but go now and lie down to sleep, and I will do the work for you." I know, right? It always is wild. Like, it's never like, the misogyny is deep. The next morning when he woke and looked out the window, the mountain had disappeared. The young man hastened full of joy to the king and told him that his behest was filled, and whether the king liked it or not, he had to keep his word and let his daughter go. So they both went away together, and it was not long before the faithful fox came up to them. "Well, you have got the best first," said he, "but you must know the golden horse belongs to the princess of the golden castle." "But how shall I get it?" asked the young man. "Yeah, right?" "I'm going to tell you," answered the fox. "First, go to the king who sent you to the golden castle and take him to the beautiful princess. There will then be very great rejoicing. He will willingly give you the golden horse, and they will lead him out to you. Then mount him without delay, and stretch out your hand to each of them to take leave, and last of all to the princess, and when you have her by the hand, swing her up on the horse behind you, and off you go." It's like she's made of styrofoam. "Nobody will be able to overtake you, for that horse goes swifter than the wind." And so it was all happily done, and the king's son carried off the beautiful princess on the golden horse. The fox did not stay behind, and he said to the young man, "Now I will help you to get to the golden bird. When you draw near the castle where the bird is, let the lady alight, and I will take her under my care. Then you must ride the golden horse into the castle yard, and there will be great rejoicing to see it, and they will bring out to you the golden bird. As soon as you have the cage in your hand, you must start off back to us, and then you shall carry the lady away." The plan was successfully carried out, and when the young man returned with the treasure, the fox said, "Now, what will you give me for my reward?" "What would you like?" asked the young man. "When we are passing through the wood, I desire that you should slay me and cut my head off." And when I cut my head and feet off, that's a very... The fox is a masochist. "That were a strange sign of gratitude," said the king's son, "and I could not possibly do such a thing." Then said the fox, "If you will not do it, I must leave you, but before I go, let me give you some good advice. Beware of two things: buy no gallows meat, and sit at no brookside." With that, the fox ran off into the wood. All right. The young man thought to himself, "That is a wonderful animal with most singular ideas. How should anyone buy gallows meat? And I am sure I have no particular fancy for sitting by a brookside." So he rode on with the beautiful princess, and their way led them through the village where his two brothers had stayed. There they heard great outcry and noise, and when he asked what it was all about, they told him that two people were going to be hanged. And when he drew near, he saw that it was his two brothers, who had done all sorts of evil tricks and had wasted all their goods. He asked if there were no means of setting them free. "Oh yes, if you will buy them off," answered the people. "But why should you spend your money in redeeming such worthless men?" I'm gonna clip that, I think. Why should you spend your money in redeeming such worthless men? That is the question. But he persisted in doing so. And when they were let go, they all went on their journey together. Yeah, it's a good sentence. After a while, they came to the wood where the fox had met them first, and there it seemed so cool and sheltered from the sun's burning rays that the two brothers said, "Let us rest here for a little by the brook and eat and drink to refresh ourselves." The young man consented, quite forgetting the fox's warning, and he seated himself by the brookside, suspecting no evil. But the two brothers thrust him backwards into the brook, seized the princess, the horse, and the bird, and went home to their father. Is not this the golden bird that we bring?" they say, "and we have also the golden horse and the princess of the golden castle." See, again, all three of them treated as objects when the princess is a whole human being. Then they were great rejoicing in the royal castle, but the horse did not feed, the bird did not chirp, and the princess sat still and wept. They did a whole kidnapping. I hope she gets justice. If not, I'm suing. I'm suing for this princess. We're gonna get the false imprisonment case, I swear. The youngest brother, however, had not perished. The brook was, by good fortune, dry, and he fell on soft moss without receiving any hurt, but he could not get up again. But in his need, the faithful fox was not lacking. He came up running and reproached him for having forgotten his advice. Yeah, see, that's whenever I do any reading and there's something that's like ethically a red flag, I need to say something about it. That's just a part of the experience. "But I cannot forsake you all the same," he said. "I will help you back again into daylight." So he told the young man to grasp his tail and hold on to it fast, and so he drew him up again. "Still you're not quite out of all dangers, said the fox. "Your brothers, not being certain of your death, have surrounded the wood with sentinels, who are to put you to death if you let yourself be seen." A poor beggar man was sitting by the path, and the young man changed his clothes with him, and went clad in that wise into the king's courtyard. Yes, it's very necessary, the drive for justice. That's the one thing I'm like, yeah, this explains my whole life. Nobody knew him, but the bird began to chirp, and the horse began to feed, and the beautiful princess ceased weeping. "What does this mean?" said the king, astonished. The princess answered, "'Cause she's a whole human and can do that." I cannot tell except that I was sad. And now, oh my god, no, not her not knowing. She's just traumatized from being kidnapped. So never, I'm not even gonna shame her for that. I cannot tell except that I was sad, and now I am joyful. It is to me as if my rightful bridegroom has returned. See, I don't know. I mean, the definition of irrational or rational fear is up for scrutiny. Then she told him all that happened, although the two brothers had threatened to put her to death if she let out anything. The king then ordered every person who was in the castle to be brought before him, and with the rest came the young man like a beggar in his wretched garments, but the princess knew him and greeted him well, falling on his neck and kissing him. The wicked brothers were seized and put to death, and the youngest brother was married to the princess and succeeded to the inheritance of his father. But what became of the poor fox? Long afterward, the king's son was going through the wood, and the fox met him and said, "Now you have everything that you can wish for, but my misfortunes never come to an end, and it lies in your power to free me from them." And once more he prayed the king's son earnestly to slay him and cut off his head and feet. So at last he consented, and no sooner was it done than the fox was changed into a man, and was no other than the brother of the beautiful princess, and thus he was set free from a spell that had bound him for a long, long time. Alright, this, interesting. And now indeed there lacked nothing their happiness as long as they lived. Well, there you go. The fox wasn't a masochist after all. The fox wanted its autonomy back. Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see what y'all are talking about. All right. What next? There was another one that was bird related. But you know what, the raven is kind of obnoxious if I remember correctly actually, so maybe we shouldn't read the raven. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. All right, let's do this. Number 1. The time traveler, for so it will be convenient to speak of him, was expounding a recondite matter to us. Yes. Oh, is this oh wow, it is 185 pages, isn't it? Maybe we should do a different one, actually. Is this Secret Garden short? That's even longer. It was like, it makes The Time Machine look like a very short book in comparison. Where's another little one? Is the Raven actually... The Raven is short. Yeah, the Raven is actually super short. Never mind. We'll actually read the Raven after all. Because crows, we love crows. Okay, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. I forget how this is. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, this is it and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortals ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, 'Lenore?' This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, 'Lenore!' Merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, something louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see. Then what there it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, one with many a flirt and flutter, and there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least, I don't know how to say that word. Ob, ob, my brain can't make sense of that. Absence? Yeah, that's it. Absence. There we go. Absence made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then the ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Thou thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if its soul in that one word he did outpour nothing farther than he uttered. Not a feather he fluttered, till I scarcely more than uttered. Other than friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. I feel like I should be like, nevermore. But you know, it is what it is. Startling at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed. Fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. This is quite the tongue twister. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest sought thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, I swear, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still of bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that our sign of parting, bird or friend, I shrieked, upstarting, and get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave my black plume as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quite the bust above my door. Take thy break from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallades just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamp's light o'er him streaming throws his shadows on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. I like am having a flashback of like being in a seventh grade class and listening to like the most dramatic like theatric reading of The Raven, and like I just remember just being like, I have no idea what's happening right now, but this person is absolutely living for doing this. Like, it's yeah, you gotta give it to when somebody just really has that theatrical presence. I don't have it in me. All right, what else we have here? These are the choices. I feel like we had. Here's another bird one. Maybe we do. Maybe we should just do thoughts. I wonder. I forget what this even is. Is this actually like? Okay, it's 5 pages. I wonder what this is. This just looks like something I would find in like Elder Scrolls, like a random set of short pages that you come across. We're gonna read this. It's 5 pages, very, very short. The king told me to wait for 400 days. Then I should awaken him, and he will end. Oh, this is just the little guy. So this is literally the thoughts of the shade. So this is just one more reminder, the longing. So this is the shade's thoughts. Wow, okay. That's why there's like a little line. I never noticed that this is something that exists in this game. So this is the lore. The king told me to wait for 400 days. Then I should awaken him, and he will end all fear and longing. I wonder what will happen. At least my birthday will be a bit sooner. The king warned me that I should never leave these caves. I wonder what exactly he meant by that. And then, oh, this is so sad but cute. It says, I wish I could dream of another place, and it's crossed out. I dreamed of a strange place beyond the kingdom with green grass and trees. An old blind man was operating a well that reached down into the cave. A spider emerged from the depths and scared a young troll sitting nearby. I wonder if this place is real or just a product of my imagination. I'd like to explore the caves, but I feel the presence of a great darkness lurking somewhere. Where is this darkness? Will I ever overcome it? I could really use a map of the kingdom. The cave is supposedly full of hidden places. I wonder when I will have discovered every part of the cave. And then there's parts that are crossed out again, and it says, so far I haven't seen anything. I have seen a little bit. I have seen a lot of places, but not everything. And then those are crossed out, and then it says, I have seen nearly every area of the cave. Okay, good. So I did actually, I guess, when I played this last. Okay, and then here's a couple other crossed-out sentences. There is a secret library somewhere in the kingdom, and I could use some more books, so I'd very much like to find it. I did. I really need to read more. My dream would be to find a book that never ends. And then another crossed-out sentence. I read about the halls of eternity, a place where time stands still. I have learned that only a fool tries to reach the end of eternity. Okay, so for anyone that's never played this game, there is a Hall of Eternity that's like this very like it's like an intensely almost oppressive white space that has like pillars, and you walk to the right and it just never ends. And you get like that's where I got most of the books, if I remember correctly, actually. Since I have some spare time while I'm waiting, I could try to make some use of it. After all, time goes by faster if you keep your mind occupied. Another crossed out sentence. My home is not comfortable enough for this long wait. Apparently, they changed their mind. I wish I had more colors for my art studies. It should be possible to find some different colored stones in the cave. I definitely need more pictures on my wall, especially lace pictures. Oh, okay, I guess I should make a lace picture then. Another crossed out one. A mattock would be a nice tool to have down here. I could try to enlarge my little home by hacking through the walls. There are crystals in many colors. I could harvest some of them and decorate my room. I forgot that right before we started reading, I like tried to break the glass with the mattock and it broke. I wonder if I can get another one. A bed would be a nice addition to my furniture. I could probably build one if I had the right materials. And then another crossed out sentence. I could use some running water in my home. Not that I have any need for hygiene. I just like the sound. Luckily, I don't need to eat, but it would be nice to grow some pretty mushrooms. It is very lonely down here. From time to time, it would be nice to see another pair of eyes. Another crossed out sentence. I'd really like to converse with someone, anyone. Sometimes a beautiful melody is playing in my head. I wish I could play my favorite tune on my instrument to ease the pain of solitude. I should make a list of my failings. Maybe that would be a small accomplishment, at least. I currently have 6 disappointments, 34 moss, 5 wood, 3 flint, 17 coal, 1 lapis lazuli. Not a bad haul. Well, I can't think of anything else right now. I guess I will continue waiting in loneliness. I think what we're gonna do is try to go up to the surface. Because I feel like I found it once and I needed to wait. And I think what I'm actually remembering is that this part here was a counter of how much time I needed left to be able to leave. Or wait, no, that's the amount of time I needed to wake up the king. So actually, we might be able to wake up the king. Let's see. Oh, how come it didn't go? Go to the king. All right. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, I can waken. Oh my god. The 400 days have passed. The wait is finally over. How will the king reward his most faithful guardian? It's time to wake up. I literally just got chills, which is ridiculous. But, like, you gotta understand, this game has just been playing in the background of my computer for, over a year. Wakey, wakey, exit wakey. Hello, wake up. That's wild. The anticipation is killing me. Is the king not gonna wake up? It's just zooming out. What are we? Oh, there he is. I guess when you sleep for 400 days, you gotta take your time. Oh no! What did I think was gonna happen? His crown was attached to the cave. Oh no! I gotta clean my screen, I guess. Okay, my faithful shade, you have awakened me and I have kept my promises. Yeah, next level buried alive. Oh no. I have created a world without longing by destroying everything in it. Oh no. Wow, the most existential crisis. I don't know what I would expect, like, to happen after a game like this, but like I'm still surprised somehow. Like, had I actually been regularly visiting the game, I think I would probably feel differently. I don't know. but it's the return to it. All life has perished, but we need it no longer. Oof. We shall forever rule this eternal kingdom. This is the singularity the transhumanists wanted. Aw, look at that, they're so cute. Well, I mean, honestly, that's what I love about like if there is a use of philosophy of technology or like any kind of like futurist theory kind of stuff, which really is like the realm that my work is in. It's the like theories of like, okay, was the Big Bang actually just this? Like, I mean, and who the fuck knows? Like, there's a big importance of just like recognizing that we actually have no fucking idea what we're doing here. Like that's one of my favorite things that I periodically return to. Like there's so many things that we have convinced ourselves of as if that's like the whole truth, but truly nobody has any fucking idea. And that's kind of awesome. The longing has ended. Oh my god. Is this the good ending? I don't know. Like, somebody, because who was it earlier that was like, yeah, I got the good ending. I just stayed inside the cave. I think that this might be the good ending because I stayed inside the cave. But maybe we should restart it. Unless I could return to the save? Yeah, I know. No, I really feel like, I mean, I've never seen so many people that are like completely on that vibe. Like, it's enormously changed with just within the last 3 years. I've never had more faith in the fact that that's gonna happen. I mean, and I guess maybe in certain senses, that's just kind of what you have to believe in when we know what we know of, like, just how much damage has been done because of the current way we do things. And not even, like, whenever I even use the word we, like, I hate, and I'm thinking, like, that's totally not even remotely the right language to use, because, like, most of us didn't make the decision to live this way. We were just born into it, like we were talking about before. Wow. I don't... I gotta restart this. Or... I feel... I need... This isn't okay. The fact that the game just like is actually not gonna be here anymore isn't, it's not sitting right with me. It's wow. And it's not even gonna let me, it's not like there's a save game because the game just, wow. So it's just over. I feel like I need to grieve this. Like, huh. Yeah. Well, and like I said, I think it's just such a weird. I feel like I'm experiencing the loss of this much in the same way that I've seen a lot, well, not a lot, but like a good amount and like a really nice amount of folks saying like it's the loss of like an acquaintance. It's the loss. This is like a third space that just has been occupying the back of my computer for like literally, as it said, over 400 days. So it's weird, like, because I would return to it periodically and I would be like, oh yeah, that game, it's playing in the background, but I don't actually have a use for it. And now it's like, oh, it's over. Like, fuck. That thing that I've been doing for over 400 days. Yeah. It's like, oh shit. Like, now what? Like, it's weird. My Steam had to restart. Well, and it's the thing that makes it even worse is that like I told myself that was the game I was gonna like return to because I just finally, like I said, I started this Steam like 4 days ago, and I told myself I was just gonna return to the longing because I thought that it would just be here, and now it's not gonna be. Like whenever I didn't know what I was gonna play, I was just gonna play the longing, and I was like, it's great because it's both a game but it's also reading. So it merges the stuff that I wanted to do on the channel anyway, and now it's not there. So it's like, fuck. I don't know. I guess I gotta figure out another option. Or maybe I can find a way to restart it. I bet I could. Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what's interesting too. Like, I told myself like just a few days ago that I wasn't gonna like schedule streams, but then like I did last night. There's something really intriguing about this for me. And honestly, I think it is just because like I've enjoyed the opportunities of like funneling everyone that I've like enjoyed connecting with on TikTok into like this new space that like I don't know, it's just cool and exciting. And it's like I like it because like I created this whole little thing. Like this is just the picture that's in my bedroom. And I created like this little well and like I made that video the other day, but like this little thing which is sadness obviously with my face on it. And it's just I don't know, it's just been fun. Like it's just like a goofy little thing that I'm doing now. And then they just like stay on my Twitch channel. Yeah, and then there's so and what's cool is there's all these like little add-ons and stuff that Twitch lets you put into your channel. Like you can so if anyone creates a Twitch, you can just like feed Twinkle treats. And like I don't know, it's just cute. Like there's just a bunch of cute stuff on it. And there's like I don't know, I added like I know. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because before I did that, there were like a number of things here and there, but like I talked about in that one TikTok, like I'd never seen it before. I still haven't seen it. Like I gotta watch Inside Out. In fact, that's probably what I'm gonna do today. Either try to find a way to watch that, or I don't know if you heard about or saw the TikTok that I shared earlier today. There's that new show that what's it called? It's like it's a spark. I think that's what it's called. And somebody posted a TikTok about it that the full season it's like 10 episodes. It's based off of a book by an autistic author. Maybe like Elle, I think is their name. And the series I guess is like really good and the character has hyper empathy. So I think I'm going to try to watch that. I was trying to Google earlier if I could like do because okay on Twitch like if it's through Amazon Prime you can do like a watch with me kind of thing. So that would have been awesome, but since it's not on there, I don't think I can. The website that it's on is called BYU something. BYU TV, I think they said. Um I might duet the person that was talking about it earlier just so folks can see it. But I want to like watch that and then maybe like just talk about it with people. Because I think, I don't know, the other day, like the reason that I realized that this kind of thing would be like super, super cool to just like talk about, like talk with folks from TikTok is because I was playing League of Legends with some folks from here just like a couple days ago and it was so great. Like it was just I don't know, it's just awesome to like see so many people that like we had like I don't know, we just all have so much more in common than I had any idea in so many different ways and it's just cool to like branch that into other stuff. And especially like we got to find as many backups for like in case TikTok eventually gets like cut as we possibly can. So this is just another because obviously what's that other app that other app that looked kind of like TikTok, that isn't the place. It's like that place was a cesspool. So I think this kind of thing would be much more accessible. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited to see what I'll do with it. And it's only like I said, it's been like 4 days. Um yeah, I don't know. It's just a new opportunity to like frame stuff. Wait, what? I think I'm alone. What? I think I could get more coffee. What's up, No One Nation? You still got that sus profile picture, I see. No, it's good though. I just finished, so I don't know if you play games at all, but I just finished this game and it's okay, so it's okay, cool. Oh yeah, the picture, yeah. So I was playing this game for like literally over a year. Oh, sure, yes, yes, exactly. So this game, The Longing, the whole game, it's just kind of like an anti-video game video game. And I finished it just now. So the thing about the game, and I was just talking about this with M for a while, is that like it's just been playing in the background of my computer for like over a year, and now it's done because the game is like it just passes time. Well, and it's like it's nice, but it's also weird because it's like the game is meant to be like super slow. Like you don't really like I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's unlike any game I've ever seen before. But like you just kind of like walk around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you it's honestly more like meant to like break you out of the traditional like gotta move fast, gotta kill things, like kind of mentality into this other space that's like special, and now it's gone. Like cuz it the book like the whole game is just you like collecting pages of books and like getting yeah exactly yeah it's just a very like it's kind of like a counter environment to like the usual fast-paced expectations of like a gaming thing. So yeah, I don't know, I gotta find another thing like that, I guess. I know, for real. Yeah, agreed. I think a lot of folks are on that vibe lately. Yeah, it was great. Oh, okay. As in like you had to be fast paced or slow down. Yeah, okay, yeah. I know, it's important to. Lord knows nobody else will do it for you. Right, yeah. Okay, and that's enough capitalism for one lifetime. That's enough. It's over now. Oh, I don't know what that means. That means oh, thank you for the follow. It's funny because I thought I changed where this is positioned. Hold on, Lear, we're gonna see behind the curtain right now. So this is how I do stuff. Let me let me move this up because then I would have seen the person's username. Let me see who this was. Oh yeah, the autistic cowboy. Thank you, thank you. All right. It should there we go. Oh, thanks for another follow. All right. Yes. I gotta move this actually so you can see it because it's okay. I think I just gotta move it up. Move to top. That's what I intended it. And then your username would be like right here. I used to do like image editing and stuff in an Office Depot. So this has given me another opportunity to just like be really like obsessed with the way things are positioned. Like everything here is very meticulously placed. All right. Like I said, thanks for the new follows. I'm really excited about just like this whole space that gives me an opportunity to reframe things differently. I set up like a whole schedule yesterday. I created a thing. Can anyone see if because I created like stickers of these things. Can you see if you can use those? Because I want to see if you can use them or if I have to do something else. Like, does it give you an opportunity to like pick them and then like put them on the screen? Because I thought I set it up, but I don't know how it actually works because I haven't seen it myself. Let me see. I don't know where there would be. Oh, you know what? I gotta add the link. So you won't be able to see it yet. Hold on, let me do it right now. We're gonna do it in real time. Okay. I can't get into it. Oh, I pasted it. Okay, add this. Okay, let's see. Stickers. So this is the stuff I learned a few days ago. It says not found. Maybe it's just, I'll put the stickers here. Maybe I gotta, let me see. What is this? What is this? I gotta, okay. I think it was no, it was in Twitch actually. Where is it?
No, it was in Twitch.
Oh, look, it's me.
Where is it? No, it was in Twitch. Oh, look, it's me.
The delay is so goofy. Oh, so you can't. Okay, so there's Pando.
It's me.
How do I? It's like I'm in a very strange ultimate loop. Okay, look, it's all my stuff. Okay, let's. How do I even go to it? That's not right. You're live. Where do I go to do it? Does anyone else in here stream at all? Because I want to follow you back if you do. I guess I'll see that just by looking, though. Where is it? Oh, this is going to show me again. Maybe... No... What is it?
How Twitch can we get, chat?
Oh.
How Twitch can we get?
This isn't it. That's okay. That's what's cool about it, because it's like everyone's gonna use it's just like it's almost like a big blank canvas or something. Like that's what I feel about streaming. That's how it feels, much more freeing than like TikTok does. It's just like the more constraints and stuff. Oh yes, extensions. Okay. Stickers. I forget where this is it. Extension is now active. Panel 1. Or you know what? I was gonna put this here, I think. Okay, component 1. But I think I need to get like the little... I need to get the link. Login with Twitch. Where is it? Yes, this is what I need. Okay. Stickers, properties. Maybe this will work. I think it will work now. At least if I hit save. Maybe we should put it here. Test. It's so little. We gotta make that way bigger. Like this big. There's gotta be a better way, but whatever. We're gonna put it right here. Test browser source size. Whoa. That's good enough. What is all this? I don't want any of this to be here. Get out of here. All right. Yeah, that's good. We test it one more time. Oh yeah, you too. Oh, good luck. Interesting. All right, good. Because y'all can put stickers everywhere. So these are the stickers I made. Start a party. All right. Now I just gotta add. I gotta add it to all the things. Stickers. What's up, J King? Thanks for being the first person that followed me, if you're the same person that followed me on Twitch, by the way. I am adding I added like a stickers thing, so you're seeing behind the curtain right now. Where is it? I just made it. Why isn't this saved? Stickers, I just skipped over it. All right. This is what I spend an inordinate amount of time doing nowadays. It's just like figuring out where to place stuff. I actually don't like this one at all. Like, I think it covers up way too much of the screen, so I gotta figure out an alternative. But for right now, it does what it does stuff. All right, and then sticker. Let me just put it here. And the spooky space for spooky stuff. Oh, geez. Okay. This one, yes. Yeah, I guess put it here. All right, it's added. So what's everyone up to? I started a Twitch. Here I am. I was playing a game earlier that's like it's an anti-video game. It's called The Longing, and it's like I finished it. So the game, for anyone that's not familiar with it, it's like an anti-video game in that you just kind of walked around really, really slow and like you found book pages and stuff. And I finished it, but it's been running in the background on my computer for like over a year, so it's super weird that it's over. I thought that I was going to be able to play that for like quite a while longer, and then I decided to end it. So I gotta find another game, but thanks for the couple folks that followed today. You saw behind the curtain a little bit here while I'm learning as well. I said, I think I'm gonna eat lunch. I know I put on the schedule. I actually created a schedule for streaming, so check that out if you haven't already. I made it last night. I get like super impulsive with the kind of stuff that I do, and this is like giving me like such a new cool place to do that with, and I'm excited about it. Yes, that's okay. So the reason why I started streaming, even though I also am going to be like rating my book all summer, is like this is gonna give me like a cool creative space and like space to talk to all of you in like a way that like I don't, because I don't use TikTok Live very, I mean it's funny, like I'm using TikTok Live right now, obviously, but like I don't know, there's something about this because I'm like able to create this space that makes using TikTok Live more exciting. And then so I'm always using both at the same time. So I'm kind of just like almost treating this as like a channel to be like, look, look, I created this. um so, but this is to say that I am a professor. So my summers are just until I'm teaching a summer course online, they're just open. And so this is like the first summer post my PhD. And I was like, I've been playing video games for like 30 years. And now that like I know all of you from TikTok, I was like, oh, like I'm gonna like, why haven't I ever streamed? Like, I've been literally like, I've been a peak candidate for streaming for basically almost my whole life. Like, as a millennial person that's played video games forever and who loves just like talking about all my special interests, like, it's a no-brainer. So I'm finally doing it. And I'm like super excited about it because I was in kind of, I feel like, a creative and like reading rut, and this has given me an opportunity to like express that in like every way. So I don't know, I'm just excited about it. Oh, oh, that's a funny joke. So I don't know if you know Imperial Spence, but my mom passed away. So this is the dark sense of humor here is, and I've heard that one before. I'm kind of here for it, but also um consider your audience. Oh yeah, so she passed away at the beginning of COVID actually, in August 2020. So it was brutal in that. Oh, what's up? So my chat for Twitch is over here. I could technically open it. I'm like trying to figure out where exactly to like situate everything so that I could see it. So, because I forget like if I think I still have the setting on my Twitch where like you have to be in my Twitch for like 10 minutes or something before you can chat. So that's probably what it was. Oh, thank you for saying that. I know, I love it. Like, what's weird is like, I've always enjoyed like sitting on live and just like chatting with people. But like I said, it's like at the same time, doing it like with both the TikTok live and then also this, and obviously over here, like, it gives me an opportunity to like also just like tinker around. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited about it. But anyway, to answer your question, Noah Nation, yeah, like she passed away. So she was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2017. So my family knew. Um, and then and the same summer, or maybe I forget if I got the offer for my PhD shortly thereafter, I think. Um, so it was like such a shitty situation, you know what I mean? Because like basically I left, like, I grew up in Northwest Indiana. So I left Indiana for the first time in my whole life. Like I was there for like 28 years and like went to like pursue my dreams because like I love talking about the stuff that I talk about all the time. And I've thought like that my whole life, but like, I was undiagnosed autistic. I didn't know. I was just like drinking heavily because of the sensory oversensitivities, and I was in a place that was just incredibly toxic and abusive. So I left to pursue my dreams, but knew like, and I didn't have good, like, I didn't have like a healthy relationship with my parents anyway. So it was like kind of like a reprieve for me to go and like pursue good things. And then started my PhD August of 2018, and halfway through, COVID hit, and then fucking my mom was put on hospice. Like maybe because she was only on hospice for like 3 or 4 months. Um, but yeah, it was a hell of a year, 2020. Like, because not only so it was a triple whammy for me in regards to like enormous traumatic things. So and I wrote an op-ed about it that I have on my Substack, so you can read that if you're curious. I forget what I called it, but if you go into my link in my bio and you go to my Substack, you'll see it. Um, I wrote it to my university newspaper, but basically, so COVID hit March 2020, and then I was shifted online, and I've been teaching college classes for 8 years now. Um, so I was teaching a new class I'd never taught before in March 2020 that I shifted online. And then right after that, my mentor for my PhD stepped down. So for anyone that doesn't know, when you're in a PhD program, you depend on faculty members to basically guide you and like mentor you. And I like really expected to do my entire dissertation with this one faculty member who was like newly tenured, so they were just able to like mentor someone for the first time. And them stepping down shifted around everything in my entire PhD like committee, which is like who you need to like do a task to move to a next level in the program. Because there's like preliminary exams that are actually, maybe I should back up. So you have in my PhD program, you had 2 years of coursework and then preliminary exams, and then you write your proposal for your dissertation project to get started writing. Yeah. So it was incredibly destabilizing to have this person step down, but I understand, like, that's a water under the bridge. It needed to happen. We had differences that it wouldn't have been as helpful. And in hindsight, everything worked out the way that it needed to. But anyway, this is all to say that I shifted around my entire committee, which involved not only like asking new people to be on this committee of 4 people, 4 very busy established professors, which is like impossible. Then I also had to drive back and forth from Northwest Ohio to Northwest Indiana. Poor as fuck, by the way, during a pandemic that was completely uncertain, to see my mom passing away. And I have some poetry about it actually that on in the schedule for Twitch, I created Friday night poetry nights. So I'm gonna read. I have a bunch of published poetry that I've like written and published. I have like poetry books and like stuff that I've published in journals and stuff. So I was gonna read some of that. I could read some of that on Friday, but basically like that was just, it was such a shit show. Like, and here's the kicker. So my mom, the year before she passed away, sued companies for her lung cancer. So she passed away, like I said, August 2020. I did my preliminary exams like a month later. I got money from corporations, because apparently in the United States, the only justice you get is an attempted profit from corporations that are able to legally basically just kill your loved ones. And because I wanted to grieve my mom, I didn't want to teach for a semester. Like, I feel like I should have been able to do that, right? You would think that that's something that, like, a grieving PhD student during a pandemic would be entitled to do, is grieve their mom. I asked to be put on an asynchronous public speaking course because that's what I've taught the most. The admins told me that I couldn't a week before the semester was going to start. A week before, after it was approved, they revoked it because the admin said graduate students can't teach online. Even though I was already approved, my entire department was like in support of that. So I stepped down because I was like, my mom didn't die of lung cancer and get like sue corporations for me to get exploited for $13,500 a year and risk my life during a pandemic. Like, so that's what that fucking article is about. And I mean, it gave me the space. Like, it's just so fucked, you know what I mean? Like, that's something I'm never gonna be able to like pretend it wasn't fucked up. And why should I? Like, it hits hard every time because it was so fucked up. Like, that was such a really fucked up point of my life. But it gave me so much perspective. And yeah, I don't know. It just, like, all of that, and then like having like the enormous amount of support on here, like, it's been a wild last few years. Like, I'm truly like an entirely different person than I was. So it's been a hell of a ride, but I think worth it overall because I'm in a much better place than I was, obviously, in 2020 after all of it is said and done. So anyway, that's my dramatic Batman backstory. There's much more than that, though, so that's why I'm writing my book, especially with what I've learned in hindsight about, you know, again, not realizing I was autistic, etc., because that puts everything into perspective. So, anyway, like I said, I'm gonna eat some lunch, but thanks for hanging out. I'll be back on later. Odds are good. I'm like, I just love this. I love doing this. It's just so, it like brightens my day. It really does. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all later, okay? Like I said, follow my Twitch if you haven't already. I know I saw a couple folks already did. Oh, I just saw your message. Um, oh, for sure. I know it just feels really good. So the Autistic Cowboy said, I've been making videos and streaming since 2015. Don't get much engagement, sadly, but it's really fulfilling for some reason, right? It feels good. It really does. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it that feels like unlimited opportunity. Like it feels like just like pure potential because you never know what's going to happen, and it just feels really good. I don't know. Yeah, I just and it's in a it feels good in the way that like in a different way from TikTok. 'Cause like I'm always like I know when I post something on TikTok that I'm like really excited and like I feel how much people are going to resonate with it sometimes. But with this, it just feels like it's like I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna try to find a way to articulate what exactly this feels like, but it just feels really good. Like it feels like I'm just like, hey, like it's like I'm opening the doors and I'm just like, hello, anyone come in? Like, welcome to hanging out with me. Let's do this. And also maybe I'll play a little puzzle game or like watch some horror shorts or do whatever the fuck we all want. Like it's just exciting. Like I'm excited to just see what this will bring. So thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all later. Drink some water, eat some lunch also maybe, or dinner or whatever meal is appropriate for your time of day and place. And I'll see you around. I don't know. I never know which to close first. I'm gonna close both at the same time. Oh, we gotta put this up. I forgot I created this. There you go. My stream has ended. All right, I'll see you all later.